Thanks for joining us. Tonight's the June 27, 2019 Town Board meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Before I do my comments, we have some members of the Sons of Italy to do a presentation to the town board. Would you like to come up to the dais there, to the microphone?
Thank you. Well, good evening. My name is James Teresi, and I'm president of the Joe DiMaggio Lodge. This is Chris Phillips. He was the chairperson of the festival this year. We're here to present checks, but before we do, I just want to take a moment to thank you, the town police, recreation department, fire, and EMS for all the help that we got there this year, which was a lot. So with the festival, we were able to provide state and local scholarships to children, take on soccer teams, which we're doing this year for East Fishkill, donate to autism, Asperger's, cancer, Veterans Association, and provide food for community members, Special Olympics, Julie's Jungle, and many other charities. So our mission is not only to share our heritage, but also and foremost to give back to our community. So our festival was to give thanks and the men and women to protect our country, but also to provide for the town at our cost fireworks for Memorial Day. So once again, this is just a small portion of the work we do in town. So thank you, everybody. So I have 2 checks to present.
Right to the clerk.
The controller jumps right up.
Yeah, I know, the clerk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One in there to help with the fireworks this year.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
you.
Councilman, thank you.
Thank you. Surprised Mark doesn't have that app. Zap him right in.
Yeah, Mark takes the money up right away.
Goes like this, zip, deposit.
Just a few comments before we get started. Yeah, just a few tonight. Hope everyone's well. Very busy month. Hope everyone's enjoying the beautiful weather. Last month, I ended the month attending a Rotary meeting up in the town of Poughkeepsie. It was a joint meeting held with the East Fishkill Rotary Club and the town of Poughkeepsie. County Executive Marcus Molinaro was the guest speaker. The county executive, he gave an overview of the state of the county address. He answered many questions. He gave his presentation. A lot of questions were pertaining to the new jail facility that they'll be building up in Poughkeepsie and how the new bail reform law is cutting the size of the building. He did a good job answering the questions. They were really peppering him, but he did a good job. But thank you to East Fishkill Rotary and Town of Poughkeepsie Rotary for inviting me. On Sunday, June 2nd, was East Fishkill's Historical Society's annual Strawberry Festival. I heard it was a big success. I wasn't able to attend. Unfortunately, my parents made their 50th wedding anniversary, so I had to attend that. My mother would have killed me if I didn't go. But as usual, it was a big success. The festival was well attended. All the buildings were open for all the public to see. They had hay rides, a petting zoo, musical entertainment, and of course, strawberry shortcake. Did you go? No?
You didn't tell me.
Well, I figured they had food, you would have went. Thank you to Rick Solder, the East Fishkill Historical Society, and all its members for that wonderful event. Their next event is June 12th. It's going to be their summer lawn party. They'll have beer tastings, picnic, lawn games, trivia, and Dutchess County historian Will Tatum, Dr. Will Tatum, will be there to give a presentation, so try not to miss that. It's Friday, July 12th from 6:30 to 8:30 right on Kensington Drive at the Brinkerhoff Historic Site. On the 4th, I had a meeting with our Chief of Police and Gary Salzberg. He's the District Rescue Chief. The Rescue Chief, he's concerned about the services that we provide at mass gatherings over 5,000 people or more. The town board will be looking into amending the permit possibly to adding additional coverages for emergency services for large events like that. I'll have more information as soon as the town board and I discuss it. On the 5th, myself, town attorney, town engineer, town planner, we had a meeting with New York State Department of Transportation's Regional Director, Lance McMillan, and his team. We've been having a lot of discussions lately. If you remember, I discussed it last meeting about the replacement of the Route 82 bridge and possibly other road improvements off Route 82. As I stated before, the town would like to see the bridge replacement become an at-grade crossing, which currently the MTA is against. The regional director and his office are in agreement with us, and they also are considering other traffic improvements that we would like to see right by 82 Palin Road and Fishkill Road, at that intersection. This has been in the works for many years, but the MTA, they really are a fly in the ointment, I should say. So on the 12th, we had a conference call with the MTA governmental representative, Mark Mannix, and a few other MTA personnel. We discussed both projects with them, and the town and the state DOT would like to see all of it happen. They didn't give us much information. They pretty much listened. We sent them over a copy of the proposed plan for them to review, to get back to us. In the meantime, I reached out to our state senator, Sue Serino's office. She's been more than willing to help contact the MTA and also assist us with the DOT. And also I contacted our Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney's office. Years ago, when Sue Kelly used to be our representative in Congress, she had an earmark approved for $600,000 to help with a bypass road to help traffic congestion in the hamlet. Well, that monies were never used, so I'm trying to get that back. They say that the earmarks never disappear, so the congressman's office is looking into it, and I really hope we could get something good here because we need to help alleviate the traffic in the hamlet. I will keep the board abreast about this soap opera as it unfolds. We've been very busy lately with our Economic Development Board and our new director. On Tuesday the 4th, Councilman Marinaro and I had the first of what I'm calling the East Fishkill Business Forum Series. It was held here at Town Hall. We had about 30 different businesses and property owners attend. The Business and Economic Development Committee, we went through a few presentations with them, our planner, and Mike O'Brien, our new Economic Development Director. We went through points about different traffic possible scenarios that it's going to happen in the hamlet. And basically, it's a gathering of the business owners and property owners to give them information of what's going on in town. A lot of the people, business owners, property owners, they don't live in town. They just have their businesses here or properties, so they don't really get the accurate information that they need. I like to make sure that they're getting the correct information from town hall, not via social media. Like I've said before, don't believe what you read on social media. Please call us. That's what we're here for. You know, we like to keep everything transparent as possible here. Anything with economic development to recreation, pickleball courts going on, anything, we try to put it out there so the residents know what's going on here. But it was very successful. Thank you to all the businesses. Thanks, Councilman Marinaro, to help me putting that together for me. But this is really only the beginning. We're planning to do more of these as we have more projects in town, either with the new businesses or traffic concerns, whatever the forum deems necessary to have a meeting like that. Also, we've been having meetings with different businesses who are looking at the West Campus and several other sites in town for putting new businesses potentially. A big thank you to our town attorney, our engineer, our planner, the comptroller, and Gina Grippo, my assistant. They've really been instrumental with these meetings. There's a lot of information to analyze and go through, and I appreciate all their hard work. On the 6th, I attended, along with Deputy Supervisor Cassidy here, and Councilman Marinaro, the D-Day 75th Anniversary Memorial at Freedom Park in LaGrange. It was hosted by our State Assemblyman, Kieran Lawler. It was a really nice event. They had the Hudson Valley Council band there. They had several World War II veterans there. They had guest speakers. One of them was our own district attorney, Bill Grady, who is also a veteran. It was well attended and a really nice service, so thank you to the Assemblyman for hosting that. On Friday the 7th, I was invited to Orchard View Alternative High School in East Fishkill for a tour of the facility by the principal, Laura DiStefano. It was really nice to see. I really didn't know much about that high school. It's located in East Fishkill, part of Wappinger Central School District. That's their third high school. They had 17 seniors who graduated on Wednesday. They asked me to do their commencement speech, which I did. It was a really nice event. I wish them all very good luck and gave them some words of wisdom if I have any. But it was about 150, 200 people there to show support for these seniors. And I'd like to thank the principal, Mrs. DiStefano, and the school superintendent for asking me to do the speech. And congratulations to also all the graduates from John Jay High School and Roy C. Ketchum High School as well. Also this week, I attended a meeting at Wappinger Central School District headquarters for the Career and Technical Education Advisory Council, which is another committee I sit on. They discussed programs for the CTE Council by how they are implementing these different programs for students along with local businesses. We discussed how to expand this program. Currently, they have large companies like Central Hudson, Global Foundries, the Local 38, Union Sheet Metal Workers. Those are all the companies that have programs for the students. I discussed possibly adding a program with our Economic and Business Committee on having a program where we can have them come in and discuss with the small businesses about possibly doing some sort of work share program. So we'll be looking into that, and I'll be calling you, Councilman, for some help. On Monday the 10th, I attended another meeting with the Intermunicipal Water and Sewer Group that I started last year. We have the meetings at Fishkill Town Hall. Thank you to Supervisor Lucola for hosting that. The members include our town, East Fishkill, Fishkill, Wappingers, LaGrange, Poughkeepsie, the villages of Fishkill, Wappingers, and the city of Beacon. We've been trying to get information together for mapping. We just saw the first version of it. Thank you to Fishkill for putting that together for us. And also Dutchess County Planning, they actually did the mapping for us, and that was the first intermunicipal map of all the water systems. It was really pretty cool to see. We're trying to get more detailed information to add on to that map, and also we are trying to expand to do the sewer mapping as well now. The group is really nice collaboration of supervisors and mayors that try to help each other, and we're going to get a lot of progress there, so thank you to all of them. Later that day, I had a meeting with our town clerk, Carol Hooray, Gloria Governman from the library, Richard Swearat, he's associated with the Mid-Hudson Library System. We met Mario Garcia, he's with the U.S. Census Bureau. Mr. Garcia gave us information regarding the upcoming census and how he needs assistance with that. They're trying to educate the public as much as possible. They need to get very accurate information if they can. The census data is linked to a lot of different programs and funding. That's why it's important to get accurate information. They would like for us to create a Census Complete Count Committee. This would be made up of volunteers throughout the committee, and the Census Bureau would aid us in giving information sessions at different sites like Town Hall or the Community Center. So if anyone is interested in volunteering on that committee, please contact my office. On the 11th, Deputy Supervisor Cassie and I attended the Girl Scouts Award Ceremony at Gayhead. They do this every year. The Deputy Supervisor, he goes because they give free ice cream. It's a really nice event. It's important to recognize our youth in the community. They do a lot of volunteer work. They have a really nice bunch of girls, young ladies, and congratulations to all of them for receiving their awards. On Friday the 13th, I went out with the highway superintendent and the town engineer for a road trip. We went up to Bull's Head Road up at the top of Dutchess County to see this company. They're doing work for Dutchess County Department of Public Works. They're reclaiming the road there. It's this really huge machine. It was really cool to see. it looks like a big, long train, and they break up the road in front of it, and they mix it together and crush it, and then they lay it back down all in one shot. It's really something. The highway superintendent couldn't be with us tonight, but he'll give some more details about that when he comes to the next meeting. But we're possibly going to be using this company for some of our roads this year. It was very informative, very important to see, and so thank you to the engineer and the highway superintendent for taking me out there, because we've been trying to think out of the box for paving. We know we have to do, that's one of our #1 complaints, and I'll be addressing that issue at the end of my address. On Friday the 13th, we had the 14th, we had a meeting with the supervisors at the police department. We meet monthly with the police chief and his lieutenants and sergeants. We go through policies, procedures, or whatever have you that they need discussion about. There's going to be a lot of changes in the police department, how the way they do business. New York State legislature, they passed a new law on bail reform. The chief, I'm sure, will go into some detail later on about that, but besides that, the police department is running really well, so thank you all to the men and women who are here tonight for all your hard work. Last Wednesday, Global Foundries invited the town board to tour their facility on Route 52. Where they make the microchips. It was very interesting. They have some really high-tech operations going on over there. They showed us how they make these wafers, and they put anywhere from 100 to 100,000 microchips on this wafer, about that big. Really interesting. It was very informative. They gave us a tour of the park, which they have a lot of potential more development to happen with the new ON Semiconductors. So thank you to Global for their hospitality and everybody who attended. But keep in mind, our goals here is to have more economic development at that site. The days of the one big employer are gone, really. We look at the future to have many different businesses set up their shops at those two campuses. Myself, the town attorney, and town engineer have been having many meetings with Global Foundries and iPark lately, because it's really difficult to redevelop that site because of all the polluting IBM did there many years ago. At this point, I'm setting up a meeting with the county executive, Senator Serino, and the New York State DEC to see what's really going on over there. For many years, a contamination cleanup has only been discussed with IBM and the DEC. So really, as far as I'm concerned, those days are over. I've been really poking my nose in what's going on, because we have to do what's best in the best interest of the town for its residents. I'm really tired of all these corporate giants. They're coming here, they pollute our land, and then they don't do the right thing when it comes to remediation of the site. If they're gonna make it difficult for us to redevelop the site, then I'm prepared to fight back in any way, shape, or form that I have to do. My first step will be with the New York State DEC. I want to get the answers that I need to move forward, and I hope that all the parties involved, we can reach an agreement so we can do what's best for the town for redevelopment. I'll keep everybody informed on that important situation. As far as Hillside Lake goes, everybody there knows that we've been doing work there. We're at the final stage of lowering the lake. The main drain appears somewhat clogged, which I think we worked out this week. They were trying to expose the bottom of the valve to see what's going on there. For now, they think they cleared it. I believe that the engineer was describing to me they have a butterfly valve, which really should have been a gate valve, so that's one problem that they did many years ago. But for now, I think they cleared it and the water's starting to flow. We will be doing the sediment removal. Trees have been removed in vegetation mode in the 4 areas where we will be removing the sediment. And next week, or this week, I think, is that correct, engineer? They're gonna get the long stick excavator out there?
Within the next few days, we're gonna get mobilized.
Next few days, so keep an eye out for that. The micro wetland filter beds, they will be installed later when the lake and weather conditions permit us to do so. We'll have to truck out the material and bring it to the highway garage, and then we have to test the material. And if it's clear, then we have to mix it with other soils to create like a topsoil for the highway department to use. The Grand Stormwater Filter Project is moving ahead, and the town has requested bids for the final materials required, and we'll actually be doing that award tonight. Clearing has begun for the wetland construction and excavating scheduled to start the week of July 8th. Drainage on South Hillside Lake Road will start after the wetland is constructed. This project's primarily expected to take 3 months to complete, weather permitting, obviously. So it's very exciting. I'm sure the people of Hillside Lake see a lot going on. Thank you to the town engineer and the town highway superintendent and our highway department for all their work. I'll keep everyone updated on the progress. Last week, I had a resident who lives up in Stormville. He came up and he had a little issue about road safety. So if you probably saw on the big sign outside, it says, "Look twice, save a life." Well, him and his residents put multiple signs out up in Stormville. I guess a young man got killed from a traveler on the road that wasn't watching what they were doing. So they're trying to have this big outreach for "Look twice, save a life." So if you see that, that's the reason for that. And thank you for that resident for coming down to address that. Today I met with Commissioner Earhart from the East Fishkill Fire District. We usually meet once a month to keep each other up to date on what's going on with the town and the fire district. Deputy Supervisor Cassidy and I usually meet with the fire district every month or two, which we'll be doing next month. Commissioner Earhart, he told me that the district has purchased 2 new fire trucks for the Wickapee Firehouse and the Stormville substation. They have training for those vehicles next week, and shortly after that, they'll be put into service. Also, the fire department's been having trouble with hydrants that are located in private water districts, not the districts that the town owns. I guess some of the hydrants aren't operational. We'll be having a meeting soon with the engineer to discuss that, but I guess that's been very problematic. But thank you to the Board of Commissioners and their hard work, and of course, all the men and women who volunteer for the firehouse, the fire district and the EMTs. You know, we couldn't do it without you. Today I attended another Rotary meeting. It was held at Lime Kiln facility right by Julie's Jungle. They installed a new president, Mr. John Lee. He owns a local business right here in East Fishkill, one of the Edward Jones offices. It was a nice luncheon. Thank you for them to invite me, and congratulations to the new president. After that, I headed up to Poughkeepsie for a Dutchess County Transportation Safety Council meeting. It was a voting meeting. All the members of the committee, they're mostly made up of all the supervisors and mayors in Dutchess County. We voted on the TIP, which is the Transportation Improvement Projects for years 2020 to 2024. Sometimes they change, so every 2 to 3 years they do a change meeting. But I saw what in the agenda what could affect our town. 6 miles of Route I-84 on the Putnam-Dutchess border to the Taconic State Parkway, including the ramps, will be all repaved and redone. Beekman Road from Sylvan Lake to Taconic State Parkway, they'll be doing correcting sight distance and other safety deficiencies as needed. Plus, they'll be repaving that. Rest of Carroll Drive bridge work, which we're in the process of doing right now. That was the rest of the monies are there for the final stages of that project. And finally, I'd like to discuss one other thing, town infrastructure problems. The town board and many of us have been discussing this for a long, long while. It's everybody's #1 problem in town is the condition of our roads. All the council persons, myself, the highway superintendent, we all get bombarded with many complaints, and they're rightly to do so. Our roads are in horrific shape. Tonight, I have an addition to the agenda, and that is to set a public hearing to place a permissive referendum on November's ballot to establish a capital reserve fund for paving. This town board has been excellent stewards of the town's finances. We cut every single budget, we do not exceed the tax cap, and we don't plan on it. We have a great group on this board made up of business owners, public employees, private employees. We understand how it is to live in New York State, and we try to get the most out of every of your tax dollars. We're at the point where we really can't cut the budget anymore. All of the council members here, they have helped to try to find ways where we can increase our paving budget. They all have sat with our comptroller, they've discussed many times what we could do without exceeding the tax cap. Just last week, I know Councilman Marinaro was down at the comptroller's office looking for ways to save. For me as a supervisor, I'm very blessed to have a town board that cares so much, I really am. They take a big role, and that's a big benefit to me, so thank you to all of you. Over the past 2 years, we've increased the paving and drainage budget to $800,000. And that was really no easy feat. We had to make cuts in every single department, and it's really not even close to being enough. It's really just a drop in the bucket. If this is the rate we're going, if we keep the paving budget the way it is, and it never goes down, and we don't add any more miles of road to our town, it would take 75 years to repave all the roads in our town. We are the largest town in Dutchess County. We have roughly about 214 miles of town road alone. The Cornell Roads Program did a study on all the roads in the entire Dutchess County, and East Fishkill ranked 24 out of 29 municipalities. Many town boards in the past, they tried to increase this budget line, but they weren't very successful because of the many financial obligations that we have in our town. Every time we see there is a little light where we can add more to the budget, there's some sort of calamity. They move dollars to fix problems, to lower taxes. We have bad winters, there's recessions, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever the excuse is, it's hard to keep putting money into the paving budget. If this would succeed to pass on the ballot, we would establish a capital reserve fund dedicated for paving and drainage forever. This town board or any future town board would not be able to take those funds for anything else. Many boards in the past, they finally upped the paving budget, and they would use it for tax increases or something like that to offset tax increases. We won't do that. We can't do it. It will be in the law. We don't want to raise taxes, which is why we never broke into the tax cap. We try to find solutions for problems, but this is a problem where we can't find any more solutions for. Again, this will be a town law where no one could touch those funds. We're going to have special meetings to discuss this. This is just the beginning. The whole entire town board agrees that we'll provide the residents with as much information as possible. We're going to schedule a public hearing next month. Then we'll have discussions every month. We'll set up a special area on the website to post all the information that we discuss so anybody can access it at any time. As with every other town department and problem that we have, we need transparency, we have transparency, and we want to give you all the information possible. We feel that the people should decide the direction this should go. Because, like Ronald Reagan said, the government isn't here to run their lives, we're here to protect you. So as much as it's hard to do, we'd like to see it go on the ballot and have the public decide. It's exciting. We got a lot of exciting stuff going on in our town. We really are above the bar of other towns in the county. People really look to us, to what we do here, and they follow suit. So we really care about making our town better. Like a friend tells me, we're cooking with gas now, so we'll see what happens. And that's it I have. And with that, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Councilman Cassidy?
Present.
Councilman Marinaro?
Present.
Councilman Franco?
Present.
Councilman Beepin?
Present.
Supervisor D'Alessandro?
Present. Okay, we have a public hearing tonight. Do I have a motion to open the adjourned public hearing for modifying zoning procedures with respect to the Architectural Review Board?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open. So, we have been contemplating streamlining the process with the Planning Board and the Architectural Review Board. So this is our first stab at it. I don't think we'll finish this tonight. I think we'll get some comments. We'll go through what we're planning, and possibly we'll vote on it next month. Will the town attorney give us an overview on
Sure.
proposal?
Currently, the zoning ordinance provides a process for the Architectural Review Board
and establish it as a additional approval that one needs whenever they're going to propose a project within the town. And so the applicant files an application, meets with the Architectural Review Board, and the group of volunteers work with the applicant on the architectural renderings. And then under the current law, that proposed building, once they reach a preliminary consensus, is presented at a planning board meeting as part of the public hearing. Any comments about the architecture are recorded. Then the law says it goes back to the ARB, and a separate and distinct approval is rendered. So what is proposed in the new law is to modify part of the process. Initially, when the applicant files with the planning board, they will continue to have a meeting or two, whatever's necessary, with the Architectural Advisory Council. Their recommendation then comes to the planning board. The public hearing is held, and then if there are no changes architecturally, it's approved as part of the planning board resolution. There's no need for that second. In a way, what we're proposing mirrors more of the process that we follow. So the thought is to have the law back up what we've been doing in this process. So that basically is it. The planning board has, in accordance with law, made a recommendation endorsing the amendment, and I believe the clerk's now received the comment from the Dutchess County Planning Department indicating that they feel it's a matter of local concern and expressed no comment.
So basically, you know, we try to streamline the process for applicants who come in front of the town planning board, and, you know, the less meetings they have to attend, I feel the better, because it lowers the cost for projects when they're proposing to do a plan. It's less time that they have to pay their consultants, less time they have to pay our consultants, and it just it makes it very much more efficient. Does the board have any comments or questions, discussion about it? 'Cause like I said, I think that we'll just have discussion tonight, and then we'll...
Well, for one thing, Nick, I mean, these are good moves, changes that are needed. I know that I addressed this in the past. I think that when projects come in front of the boards, planning board, you know, the due diligence has to be done, but at the same time, the process has to be expedited. The bottom line, like the town supervisor said, is that every time that we send these projects back and they have to come back and address certain minor things, it is thousands of dollars. The bottom line is that at the end of the day, those projects, somebody pays the price, and the price is the consumer. So, you know, in the past we heard, well, but, you know, we don't pay for it. Yes, somebody always pays. There is the bottom figure that gets inflated because those engineering reviews, they get tagged along when somebody's got to put a house up for sale, and the price goes up by $25,000, $50,000. That's part of the expenses for having a project put in place. So it is extremely important. Again, we will take all the accounts of the community inputs. That goes without saying. But at the same time, you know, things have to be expedited. We can't rehash because it is costly.
Yeah, I agree, Councilman. Anyone else have comments, ideas, changes? Anybody in the public wish to speak on this public hearing for procedures with the Architectural Review Board? How are you?
Very well, how are you?
Good. If you could state your name, please.
Sure. Good evening, my name is Julie Diddell, and I'm the president of the Friends of Griffin's Tavern, an organization dedicated to preserving the historic Griffin's Tavern ruin, an archaeologic site located on the grounds of Royal Carding's transfer station on Route 82 in East Fishkill's hamlet, Hopewell Junction. Early in 2017, with the consent of Royal Carding, we brought historical architects to assess the ruin.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is your comments pertaining to the modification of the procedures for the Architectural Review Board?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Thank you. So we brought the historical architects to assess the ruin, and they informed us that the ruin can be preserved. And they gave us proposals to do so. Those proposals have been previously provided to the supervisor and to Royal Carding. And again, I have them tonight for you. We began seeking grants to perform preservation work. A little background. Griffin's Tavern is a mid-1700s Hudson River Valley-style Dutch stone house, and as early as July of 1775, the tavern was the place where the leaders in the community met to pledge their allegiance to the Continental Congress and to George Washington's mission to fight for liberty. Throughout the American Revolution, the tavern remained an active place where George Washington and many military elite visited. In fact, the high-ranking French general and prolific journal writer, the Marquis de Chastellux, writes about being at Griffin's Tavern in 1780 and speaking to Jacob Griffin about staying at his tavern. And this is found in the transcribed publication, Travels in North America in the years 1780 through 1782. In a March 19th, 2019 letter sent to you, Supervisor, from historian Dr. Robert Seelig, he informs the supervisor that this documentation about Griffin's Tavern provides a basis for including Griffin's Tavern in the future expansion of the National Park Service trail called the Washington-Rochambeau Trail, so long as the above-ground ruin remains on its current and original site. I'm providing a copy of that letter tonight for the record. Through its previous owner, Griffin's Tavern underwent a 20-year meticulous restoration, and in the mid-1990s, a fire destroyed much of the tavern except its strong stone walls and its mighty hand-hewn wood beams. Over the years, admitted, unpermitted, partial demolition occurred by the current owner, and those beautiful original beams have disappeared. Where did they go? Griffin's Tavern is the birthplace of liberty in East Fishkill. No other place in East Fishkill can claim that distinction. And it's not just the ancient stones of its extant walls, foundation, and other materials which give it that honor. It's that, along with the physical ground where the important Revolutionary War events occurred, that gives Griffin's Tavern this meritorious status. As we approach the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country, it is more critical now than ever before that East Fishkill residents should not be denied the existence of this historical cultural resource remaining in place, and this proposed modification of the zoning procedures with respect to the ARB opens the possibility that the tavern's ruin and site to desecration and demolition without the procedural protections currently in place. The Friends of Griffin's Tavern has previously written to the town regarding the property owner's proposed plans to demolish the tavern, and we demonstrated to the town that such a demolition required approval from the Architectural Review Board. That approval would require the ARB to review the demolition pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA. Immediately after we sent the town these letters, the town decided to change its laws regarding the ARB. The amendment is clearly in response to our letter and is a blatant effort to avoid having to perform a secret review for the demolition of Griffin's Tavern. I believe this is because Griffin's Tavern, because of the tavern's historical and archaeological value, is apparent, and a proper review under SECRA would result in a positive declaration requiring the preparation of an environmental impact statement and additional review of the demolition's potential adverse effect on the tavern as a valuable historic and archaeological resource. Supporting the demolition of a historic structure should not be the basis for this wide-ranging amendment to the zoning law, and I urge you not to adopt this ad hoc law that appears to be solely motivated by a desire to allow the destruction of a historic structure, and which would effectively remove all authority from the Architectural Review Board. I'm almost done. Our attorney advises us that it's improper to even hold a public hearing on this draft language, as the law is not in the proper form of a local law. By not holding a hearing on the final form of the local law, the public is not able to review and comment on the alleged purpose and need for the law, both of which are missing from this draft. I therefore request that you continue this hearing until the final form of the local law is available for review and comment. I also note that the local law is required to be laid upon the desks of the town board members at least 7 days before its adoption, or mailed 10 days before its adoption. And this is not in final form. This board cannot adopt the law this evening. Finally, the adoption of this local law is an action that requires SECRA review, especially regarding its impact on historical resources. Based on the draft SECRA documents posted with the town board's agenda, the town board has failed to consider potential impacts on historic structures by making the ARB's decision a recommendation only. By making the ARB's decision recommendation only, you are lessening the applicable controls on the demolition of historic structures, which clearly has negative impacts on historic resources. In addition, we believe the town has impermissibly segmented its environmental review by considering this amendment separately from the proposed proposal to demolish Griffin's Tavern. The town board has a duty to consider the reasonably related effects of its action, and the town is well aware of the proposed demolition for the tavern, and the granting of that permit not having undergone SECRA review as part of an ARB approval is an obvious and foreseeable effect on this amendment. Failure to conduct a proper SECRA analysis can result in annulment of a local law. As this law is clearly related to and is meant to allow the demolition of Griffin's Tavern, the town board must consider the adverse impacts that the demolition of the tavern would have during the SECRA review zoning amendment. The Friends of Griffin's Tavern hopes the town board will take these comments seriously and does not adopt this resolution tonight, and I heard you say you were not going to adopt it tonight. And furthermore, I ask the town of East Fishkill to partner with us, the Friends of Griffin's Tavern, and the property owner to preserve Griffin's Tavern where it is now and where it has always been. To reimagine a preserved ruined site juxtaposed to the Royal Karting Waste Station. We invite the town and Royal Karting to meet with us to see our concept. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I have the town attorney answer a few questions about some of the accusations about that this law is solely to prevent the demolition of Griffin Tavern is 100% false. The town has done very extensive work with our Historical Society on trying to save Griffin's Tavern. I have a letter here from the East Fishkill Historical Society. Dear Town Board, the East Fishkill Historical Society recognizes the historical importance of Griffin's Tavern as well as our role in preserving the history of East Fishkill. Unfortunately, The Griffin Tavern structure is considered unsafe and unstable per the 2014 Town Engineering Report and is on private property. It has been made clear that the structure is in imminent danger of being demolished despite efforts to preserve it at its original location. It is our position, due to the historic significance of the structure, efforts should be made to conserve in a way that allows the community to appreciate its value. We applaud the passion of the Friends of Griffin Tavern and the work they have done to foster understanding of the tavern's place in East Fishkill history. We are pleased to hear that Royal Karting has offered to relocate the ruins and that the town of East Fishkill will store what remains of the tavern until an appropriate site can be found on town property, such as Loma Park. We're hopeful the tavern ruins can be reassembled soon in a location that is safe and accessible to the public. We support the town's effort toward improving access to and beautifying the area around the bronze marker installed in 1928 near the site. The East Fishkill Historical Society has had great successes in working with town government and private property owners to preserve other historic structures. We have found that increased access to these buildings enhances the community's knowledge of cultural and historic heritage. Sincerely, Debbie Chanel, President of the East Fishkill Historical Society. So we have gone through this many times. This site is on private property. It is not in the town's purview. Tom, can you discuss about the procedures of the ARB in respect with demolition of a building?
Sure. First of all, the substance of the authority of the ARB is not being changed. We're talking about procedure. So the ARB never had jurisdiction over demolition permits, nor will it have jurisdiction over demolition permits. So the only permit application that would be submitted with respect to this project would be a demolition permit. Secondly, a draft of the local law and the secret documents, this is a carried over public hearing from last month. So it was part of the packet last month, it's part of the packet this month, so it's readily available. The local law, quote, in its final form, is not in its final form until a majority of this town board adopts the local law. It is a draft until it's adopted by the board. Also, the secret process is not completed until the town board, prior to voting on the law, makes a secret determination. The town planner has prepared a secret document which also references a prior report from the New York State Office of Historic Preservation, for which this issue was referred. And that office concurred that a memorial at the site would be the appropriate reflection. So I would like to correct those issues that were raised on the record. So we are not changing the authority of the, or the jurisdiction, shall I say, of the architectural review body. What we're changing and modifying is to make the process that has been ongoing reflected in the law.
Okay, thank you, Town Attorney. Any other comments or questions? Okay, so,
Town Attorney, can I just ask for clarification? Oh, thanks. Doesn't this draft change the ARB to a recommendation status only?
But the ultimate approval of the projects for which there's jurisdiction, we're not talking about a modification, construction, or addition to an existing building or a proposed building.
But it does
So they never
change-
had jurisdiction.
Okay, but it does change the ARB to
To
recommend.
an advisory council.
Advisory
For it to
council
come
only.
into the planning
Okay.
board. That's correct.
That's correct.
But with respect to your cause, it had no authority before and has no authority after.
any other board members wish to make comment or questions? Okay, with that, should we, do you want to adjourn or close? We'll adjourn it for other comments.
Might as well.
Okay, so why don't we adjourn this public hearing till the next town board meeting, which is July
25th.
25?
Yes.
July 25th. Do I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing to July 25th, 2019?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Oh, I'm sorry. Up here, you gotta come to the, please.
Hi, my name is Danny Groisel. I live over here in East Fishkill. I'm sorry that I came in here late and didn't know what time it started. Did you guys discuss tonight about anything about the chickens laws?
No, not yet. We didn't set a public hearing for that yet.
Okay, because, you
We're
know,
probably towards the end of the summer or the beginning of the fall,
okay,
okay?
all right, thank
If you
you.
look on our website, you'll see all the agendas listed and all the public hearings are listed also.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So do I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing to July 25th, 2019, 7 PM?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Okay. Everybody received the May 23rd, 2019 minutes? You keep that. Was there any additions?
No, there was not.
Modifications? No? With that, do I have a motion to approve the May 23rd, 2019 minutes? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Minutes approved. We have one addition to the agenda tonight, which what I said during my comments is to schedule a public hearing on the proposed local law establishing a capital reserve fund for the road paving. And with that, this is courtesy of the floor, the time of the meeting where anybody can come up to the podium to speak about any general town issues, anything on the agenda, anything you wish. The microphone's open. Oh, not you, Bob.
I'll make it short. I'll make it short.
Bob, we got a lot of police officers here for the first resolution.
So, good evening. I deal with the issue every day on Hillside Lake Road and North Mission Road with geese.
Geese?
Geese.
Okay.
There's probably about 60 geese that
6-0?
Yeah, that started maybe, I don't know when the breeding season was for them, maybe a month or two ago. And there's still little young ones that must have hatched not long ago. The problem is this, that they 4 to 5 times a day cross the road, and it's a traffic hazard, a major traffic hazard. It's a catastrophe waiting to happen. So I called the engineer's office in Poughkeepsie and got all kinds of stories. I've been asking for a sign for the past 4 years that there would be a wildlife crossing.
Oh, the DPW? You call the DPW? Because that's a county road.
Yeah. The Transportation Department in the engineering office. I sent them what any normal person would see as very compelling pictures of cars that wind up getting backed up on the road, close to getting rear-ended, cars that come over into the other lane to avoid all of this. This is 4 to 5 times a day. These geese go like an army. They just one at a time cross this road. It's amazing. I don't know that there's any other place in Dutchess County that has this.
You
So.
could charge admission to that, Bob.
Huh?
You could charge admission to that.
Yeah. So I can't get anywhere in 4 years to get a sign done, which is really unbelievable. So then I went to the commissioner. I spoke to the commissioner the other day and got a lot of, stories about sign clutter and every other illogical answer that you could possibly hear.
So you want a sign for geese crossing?
Well, I think they need, and you know what? Just certain times of the year so that people don't see it, and it becomes like a deer crossing sign, that when the breeding season comes, and then it comes down afterwards, just to give people a heads up. And I would urge anybody that is familiar with this or sees this, because it's not the first time that I've been told I'm the only one that calls or sees it or whatever, okay?
I'll call Bob Balkind.
But I'm sure that other people have seen this, and, while they think something is wrong with it, maybe didn't take the initiative to do anything. Something really seriously is gonna happen there. I have pictures in my phone. I will show you later. But, something needs to be done here. It's just a catastrophe. waiting to happen.
I'll call the DPW commissioner for,
But
to
don't
ask
tell,
him.
but don't tell him that I said
I
it,
know,
because you ain't
I'll
gonna
just
get
say
nowhere.
comments, we had comments at the town.
All right, and if
Get
there's
drones to
anybody
scare them
else
away.
in East Fishkill, Hillside Lake area, anybody that travels the road that sees it, please, if they could call Nick and complain to Nick, and then Nick could take it forward, because something needs to be done. Thank you.
What's your number, Bob? I could,
Bobby, we've had success at Red Wing in keeping the geese away by putting up fish line. Put up little posts with fish line.
There's a new thing that's better than that.
Shotguns?
Yeah, if you go to Amazon, under geese control, there's 2 little solar-powered lights. They're $19 a set.
Yellow, right? Yellow lights?
They're little red eyes, and they shine at you, and it keeps the geese and ducks and everything away.
all right.
So that's $38, right?
19.
19
Per pair.
apiece? I will give you $100 if you buy the
call
lights
Amazon and
and
order
stop the issue. Can you do that? You can make yourself
I'll
a
do
couple
it.
bucks. You'll do it?
Bob, yeah, I want the 100.
Okay.
I think
Get
that was
that
completely
money up
illegal,
front.
it just transpired right there.
Get that money up front, and put it towards blacktop.
Yeah, we need it. Yes, ma'am.
We do have a geese problem.
Thank you.
Going to say that. I'm Donna, I live in Hillside Lake, and we have a lot of cars that are not adhering the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's a hazard. You can't walk around the lake. You can't walk your dog around the lake without jumping to the side of the road. So I don't know if we can post more signs or have more police officers drive around the lake, because it's hazardous. And there's kids on the bikes now. They're going to get hit. So it's a problem.
I'll make sure it's addressed. It was a good night to come for that. Thank you, Chief.
And I second what Donna just said.
You complained about the geese.
Anybody else wish to speak on anything on the agenda or any other general town issues?
You've been saying that for years, Bobby. You've been saying that for years.
Thank you.
All right, with that, anything for receipt and file?
No.
No, nothing? Okay. First resolution, promotions to the police department. Chief of Police is requesting the town board to promote Greg Stannis to sergeant position. The chief of police is also requesting the town board to promote Justino Bermudez to sergeant position. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board tonight wants to promote Detective Gregory Stannis to sergeant and Justino Bermudez to sergeant. Do I have a motion to authorize the chief's request to the town board to promote these two?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. We have, the 2 new sergeants are here, and would we like to get some pictures with them, Chief? And the town board to also get them? Congratulations, gentlemen. We'll be right down for some pictures. Congratulations, Sergeant.
You're in charge of geese
Congratulations,
control?
Sergeant.
Terrible.
I don't want to do that. It's gonna start spinning around, making you guys look really weird like that. I want to be the widest.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Terrible. Congratulations. Good luck. Okay. I'm sure the first order of business for the new sergeants will be the geese on Hillside Lake.
And the speed.
Yeah, oh, wow. Okay. Resolution number 2, authorize a bid for IT. Deputy Supervisor, would you read that?
Whereas the town supervisor has requested that we need to purchase server and infrastructure hardware and software to upgrade our IT systems, and now therefore be resolved that the town clerk be and hereby is authorized to advertise for the above-named bid, and be it further resolved that the following advertisement, receipt of bids, the summary of the bids shall be filed by the town board for further consideration and award.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. So we are moving forward with our IT project upgrade of the town's IT systems. And this is our start of it. Do I have a motion to authorize the bid for hardware and software?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 3, we're going to table number 3. Number 4, authorized bid for Century Gardens at Julie Jungle. Councilman Franco, would you read that?
Sure. Whereas the Recreation Director has requested that they are in need of materials with regards to the Sensory Garden installation at Julie's Jungle, and the town has secured the necessary funds to complete the garden from both Julie's Jungle and the DASNY grant that has been previously awarded. Whereas it is necessary for the town clerk to advertise a bid for materials to complete such task. Now therefore be it resolved that the town clerk be and hereby is authorized to advertise for a bid for materials and then report such results to the town board for final award.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a bid to authorize, do I have a motion to authorize a bid for Century Gardens for Julie's Jungle?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So we've been fortunate to receive many grants for Julie's Jungle. This will be a nice addition. Any other comments, questions? Go ahead.
How many more phases are left there, Steve?
This is the final phase.
This it? This it?
That plus some signage on the overall park.
Thanks.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 5, approve material bid for Hillside Lake Water Improvement. Councilman Marinaro, would you read that?
Whereas the town engineer has previously requested that we are in need of certain materials for Hillside Lake Water Improvement Quality Project, and whereas said bids have been received, and whereas the town board has received copies of both material bids that were received and are hereby attached, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby award the materials bids to Metal Materia in the amount of $27,944, and ACF Environmental in the amount of $112,822.13.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to award the bid materials for Hillside Lake Water Improvement Quality Project?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So this is one of the final stages that we're, have to do to acquire the, for the materials for the Hillside Lake project. And will there be anything else going out to bid, engineer, after this?
Everything else we're able to get off the piggyback state or county.
Excellent. That'd be great.
Scott, do you mind sharing, I know that, you know, this is like very detailed, but this PO4 sponge phosphorus removal media, what is it? Is it something that they use to take the stuff out of the lake, or?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just a granular material that the water runs through and it acts as a filter, like a pool filter. It's like a media like that.
So it's actually a sponge material, spongy material?
Well, it's not really a spongy material, but it's
Okay.
a filter media.
And it's something that could be reused a few times, right?
Well, there's a backwash system that, just like your
Okay.
pool filter, right?
Any other questions, comments? I have a motion and a second, right, Claire?
Yes.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 6, adopt water and sewer reservation fee. Councilman Beepan, would you read that?
Whereas the town comptroller has recommended to the town board that we should adopt a water and sewer reservation fee schedule, and now therefore be it resolved that the attached document outlines the policy and fees thereof for such fees, and be it further resolved that the town board does and hereby adopts a water and sewer reservation fee schedule as described in the town comptroller memo that herein attached.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to adopt the water and sewer reservation fee?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
I'd just point out that what this is for. You want to point out that this is?
Yeah, I'll discuss that. So this is for, time to time now, especially down the Route 52 corridor, we have a finite amount of water and actually sewer down that corridor, and there's going to be projects coming, and we won't have enough water and sewer to provide for all of them. So we've come up with this this fee where they can reserve it and they have it put aside for them. So we came across with the Dome project where we put aside X amount of gallons of water, and now this project is, I don't know what's going on with it. So we could utilize that water allocation for some other project. And if we had if we had a contract with them, then it locks them in. Then we know that they're going to take it because they have skin in the game. And to be fair, we charge them half the rate, and then half of that we put towards a credit for them when the project is completed.
I know, it wasn't for me, it was for the people out there, so they don't think they're getting banged another
Well, I
sewer.
didn't know if you, I don't know what you're reading out there, Deputy Supervisor. Engineer like to,
You also, he tells you and he
There was no food there, I didn't care.
oh.
No.
I just like to
You're
add
part of the community.
one detail, that the health department requires a commitment, from the town that X amount of water is going to be available, or sewer, before
Right.
they will approve these projects. So that's why, once we make that commitment, we can't retract it. So that's why, the people should pay some kind of reasonable fee to reserve that.
I agree 100%. I don't want to hear from about 4 sewer districts that they're going to get banged an extra 50%.
Oh, right.
That's
Other
all I
people,
care
yeah.
about.
Okay, any other comments, questions, concerns? No? Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 7, authorize appropriation of recreation development fund. Councilman Franco, would you read that?
Sure. Whereas the Director of Recreation is requesting authorization to receive funding for several projects listed on the attached memo from the Recreation Development Funds, and whereas the cost will not exceed $34,120, now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize funding for the requested projects not to exceed $34,120 from the Recreation Development Funds.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the appropriation from the rec development funds?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Comments? So, actually, this is very sorely needed. Actually, today I went to the Rotary meeting, which was all the way down the hill at Lime Kiln, and I parked by there's a tent set up there for events, and they had the Rotary meeting under that tent, and the parking was right by that basketball court that they're going to be fixing, well, after we pass this. And so I'm walking across it, and I almost tripped and fell because it's in really bad shape. Steve Caswell was laughing at me, but any other comments or questions?
The other big thing about this, the other item, is the pickleball courts.
Yeah, the
So
pickleball
Pickleball is
courts.
the fastest growing sport in the United States.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Well, we'll have nice new courts for them. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 8, approve changes to site visit plot plans fees. Councilman Marinaro, would you read that?
Whereas the town engineer has previously requested that there are instances when plot plans reviews take an extra amount of time to review, whereas said town engineer has attached a memo describing the additional fees and conditions thereof, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board does approve the additional fees and changes as described in the town engineer's memo, to be effective July 1st, 2019.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to approve the changes to the site plot plan application fees and charges?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
So Scott, as you described, these are sometimes plans that you have to go back and revisit because of some additional comments.
Either they put, well, it's not additional comments, but like misinformation, for example, they put information that's wrong on the plan, and then later, when they go to build it, they find out it doesn't work, and then we have to go out, we have to figure out, how to resolve it, things of that nature. Or they just decide to make a wholesale change out in the field. Again, I gotta review everything to make everything work, so we didn't think it was right and fair to charge them a whole new plot plan fee of $250, but they should pay for that additional work that's required to go out and visit the site and make sure everything's gonna work.
Okay.
So this is just for significant changes, nothing minor?
Yeah, the normal process is we review it, we make our comments, they
Right.
respond. Maybe they gotta make a couple tweaks, and that's fine, but this is really, we have instances where they just put, wrong information on a plot plan just to get an approval.
Right.
And then it catches up with them when things don't work, or they have to raise the house, move the house, and now I gotta go out and try to work through these problems, and that's really what this is for.
Thank you.
How often is that happen, Steve? Scott?
It's feast or famine. It's either it happens,
Yeah,
a few, 3-4 times in 1 month, or sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, it always happens when we're at our busiest, and, it takes time. We don't have an infinite amount of employees, we try to keep the payroll down as best we can, so.
It's usually a fire drill.
Yeah, right.
Oftentimes.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? No? Do I have a motion and a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 9, modify town credit card policy. Deputy Supervisor, would you read that?
Whereas the town board has previously adopted and established a credit card policy in June of 2013, and whereas the town comptroller has recommended the town board that the town credit card policy be hereby modified, and be it further resolved that the annexed credit card policy will be and hereby is adopted for the town of East Fishkill, and be it further resolved that the amended credit card policy is on file in the office of the town clerk.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Do I have a motion to modify the policy?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So this,
There is a certain amount of money that you're allowed to use.
well, the limit is limited because we have a purchasing, correct, Mark? We have a resolution for purchasing. We can't, with over $4,000, we have to go out to bid, and,
Well, no, I mean, we could exceed this. This was a limit that was set when the policy was originally put in place in 2013.
okay.
So it can be extended by the board whenever you choose. The only change really to the policy is just where the cards are being secured. We're moving them from a locked cabinet in the finance office to being with the cardholders.
Okay.
It's just, it's a convenience.
And it's only used in times when online purchase, things like that, it's not used
Yeah,
like
there's a
go to the
whole-
store
Yes,
normally.
ma'am.
Right. This is, it's a method of payment of last resort, sort of.
Can't take the town board out to dinner.
No,
No.
no, no.
No, we use a voucher. He uses a voucher.
No.
Then there would be a payroll deduction.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Resolution modify, adopt final version of the shed and fence law. Councilman Bepan, you read it?
Whereas the
Please.
town board did conduct a public hearing on the shed and fence amnesty law on May 23rd, 2018, and it was agreed to adopt such law. Now therefore be it resolved that the attached document is the final version of such law, and be it further resolved that the town clerk shall file the final version of the shed amnesty law within all provisions under New York state law. Should that say 2019? Or was it in 2018?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
fence law, May 23rd, 2019. The first whereas,
Just a little typo.
yep,
No type.
just a typo. Okay, do I have a motion to adopt the final version of the shed and fence amnesty law as modified?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? So, like the engineer says, when we're making the omelet, we gotta crack a few eggs, right? So, this is a work in progress. We never done this before, and well, we passed this last month. We needed to make sure the procedure is, pretty tight, so, do you wanna make any comments about it?
Following the comments that were made at the first public hearing, this is the final law being adopted by the town board. This is the law. Up until this point, it'd been in draft format, so.
Excellent. And there's been a lot of interest, a lot of people calling about it, so.
This is going to make it a lot easier and simple and alleviate a lot of work for zoning. There's a lot of discussion in the past, so it is a good thing, and I hope that people in the community take advantage of this now and
They're
address.
starting to, they were at the
They're-
last zoning meeting, so.
Yeah.
They're
Have
asking.
1 year.
So,
1 year.
You got 1 year to do it. Okay.
advertise as that on the website, or?
Yeah, we could put a spot on the
Yeah,
website
okay.
for it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 11, hiring of extended camp program employees, Councilman Franco.
The Town of East Fishkill conducts extensive summertime programs for the youth of the town. Whereas during the summer, the Town Recreation Department hires temporary part-time workers to assist in various programs. Whereas this year, the summer camp will be having an extended camp program June 26th, 2019 to August 14th, 2019. The Director of Recreation has submitted to the Town Board a listing of the names of the employees for the extended camp program and the amounts of their salaries to be paid. Whereas it is the desire of the Town Board to authorize these employees for the summertime period as set forth in the memo from the Recreation Director attached here too. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Controller be and hereby is authorized to place on the town payroll as temporary summer employees the seasonal extended camp program employees as set forth in the annexed memo from the Director of Recreation. Be it further resolved that the said employment shall only be during the summertime employment for the amounts listed in the memo, and that upon completion of their task, they will be removed from the payroll unless further ordered by the Town Board.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the hiring of extended camp program employees?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So we're trying to do extended camp program. It's been a little problematic because this is, we wanted to do this last year, at the beginning of the year, but we didn't get our arms around it early enough, and we don't know if we'll actually even utilize some of these employees, but if we do, at least we made it official tonight if we're gonna use them, but, so hopefully we will have an extended camp this year. If not, next year definitely we will. We will get started much earlier like we do with the regular camp, but, I just wanted to make that comment. And thank you to, the rec directors for, today was the first day of camp, and, everything was going well, so thank you to all their hard work. Do I have a motion have a motion and a second? Yeah. No, we do already.
You already have a motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank
Another
you.
motion, where have you been?
Yeah, Peter, what, are you sleeping?
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn. Carol.
Strawberry shortcake.
The strawberry shortcake, that's right, Councilman, that's what he wants. The final bonding proceeding for Hopewell West. Councilman Marinaro, would you read that?
At the regular meeting of the Town Board of the town,
We usually don't read.
We usually don't read the
No.
bond, it's 10
Oh.
pages.
Okay, so
just wanted to read the first paragraph, if you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. At a regular meeting of the Town Board of the Town of East Fishkill, Dutchess County, New York, held at the Town Hall in said town on the 27th day of 2019 at around 8:20 PM prevailing time. The meeting was called, and we're just going to vote on this bond resolution.
Okay, do I have a motion to authorize the final bonding proceeding, for Hopewell West Water District?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Just to point out,
Yes.
the board previously conducted many public hearings. You established the Hopewell West District. The clerk has finished all the process of filing with the state controller, the county clerk, all the publications complete. This is the actual borrowing resolution as prepared by our bond counsel for $1,311,000, which was discussed at the public hearing, includes the acquisition of the Hopewell Service Corporation water system and the necessary improvements needed to connect them to the new water source.
Excellent. Okay, any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 13, authorized retirement incentive for CSEA employees. Deputy Supervisor, would you read it?
Whereas the town comptroller has submitted a retirement incentive payment plan for current CSEA employees to the town board. And now therefore it be resolved that the attached document outlines such a retirement incentive payment plan with terms thereof as it relates to the CSEA current employees. And be it further resolved that the town board does and hereby authorizes the retirement incentive payment for CSEA employees as described in the town comptroller menu.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Do I have a motion to authorize the incentive program?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So, we try to streamline find costs as much as we can, and there are some employees that are close to retiring or thinking of retiring, and if they did, it would be a good cost savings for the town. So this possibly will have, like it's worded, an incentive payment. So if tomorrow I'll be sending this out to all the CSEA members, and if they would like to partake of it, they can contact myself or the town comptroller. Any comments or questions? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 14, appoint full-time typist for the rec department. Councilman Beepan, would you read it?
Whereas the Recreation Director is requesting the town board authorize the full-time hiring of Christine Selbach, whereas the civil service typist list has been received by the town and the current candidates is reachable for appointment, whereas Christine Selbach has been working for the town as a part-time recreation assistant since 2011. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the hiring of Christine Selbach as a full-time typist in the Recreation Department. Be it further resolved that the salary to be paid is an hourly rate of $16.72 in accordance with the CSEA union contract, and effective date will be August 1st.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to appoint Christine Selbach?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So Christine is a very hard worker in our rec department. We had a few positions, one retired, one, actually two retired, I think, and gave us enough dollars to make a full-time position out of all the part-timers, so
She's a great asset.
she really is. She's excellent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Congratulations, Christine. And additions to the agenda. Like I said in my comments, this is to schedule a public hearing on a proposed local law establishing a capital reserve fund for road paving. The town recognizes the need for additional paving funding for the repaving of our town roads. We have in excess of 210 miles of town road. The Cornell Highway School has rated all the roads in Dutchess County and ranked the condition, and East Fishkill is the bottom 1/3. We have made much efforts to increase our paving budget to $800,000 a year for paving. More than triple of this is needed. The town board wishes to hold a public hearing on the proposed law to establish the capital reserve fund, require an annual appropriation of $1.3 million to said fund, cause a one-time exceedance of the cap, and the proposed local law will be posted on the town's website as of July 7, 2019. And the proposed local law to establish a capital reserve road paving will be held on July 25th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at our town board meeting. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. We will be discussing that at length. Any budget transfers tonight?
Not tonight.
No? Are we going to do the IT budget transfer next month?
That's right, yes.
Okay. And town board member comments. Councilman, you want to start?
I'd like to join my colleagues in congratulating all the high school seniors from all the schools that graduated this past week. Congratulations, we are all proud of you, and good luck in your next steps in your journey. Also, I'd like to wish you all a happy and safe 4th of July. And as always, thank you to our police, fire, highway department, and all other emergency services for all the work that they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Franco?
Sure. Like you said earlier, camp had started today, so we look forward to that. It should be very exciting. The spring leagues are finishing up in recreation. Red Wing is now open daily. We encourage everyone to stop by the facility. We continue to do improvements there every year. We have a Century Garden that was installed by Eagle Scout Marcus Goldsmith. He did a tremendous job with that. And we also have paddle boats there that you can rent out, which is a lot of fun. Our 3rd annual Day at the Beach, Think Differently Day at the Beach, is on Sunday, July 14th, rain or shine. This is for people of all abilities. It's been a tremendous success the first 2 years. We're really looking forward to this 3rd one. Veterans Appreciation Day is September 29th at noon. More information on that will follow shortly. I want to speak briefly about our Veterans Committee, the committee that the supervisor put together. We're very fortunate to have some really, really good veterans there, as well as some citizens who sit on that committee. A few weeks ago, Councilman Beepan approached me to tour up a property in town that was owned by a veteran that had a few zoning violations. As we went there, we encountered the woman who had lived there, and we soon realized that she told us her husband was taken away and he has dementia. He's a Vietnam combat veteran. We relayed this information to Mark Coviello, the County Director for Veterans Affairs, and he is in contact with this woman right now to try to help her out. And we relayed the information to the chair of our Veterans Committee, Jim Reynolds, who's also the commander for the Manny Bacon Post, the Veterans Post here in town. This man, Jim Reynolds, him and a bunch of veterans got together, went to this lady's house, and cleaned up her entire front yard. The amount of work that these 70-year-old veterans did was absolutely remarkable, and I could not commend them enough for doing that. And one of the things that this Veterans Committee has started is a greater awareness and reaching out from this committee to the people, to the veterans in town. And there's a lot of exciting things to come with them. We're really proud of them. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank the Supervisor's Secretary, Gina Grippo. Gina has been fielding all the Hometown Hero banner requests, and she's put in a heck of a lot of time and effort and we keep getting more and more requests every single week. And we're actually running out of polls, which I guess is a good thing. She's trying to get more polls for us so we can get the banners up. And just a reminder, we do not do poll requests. Only one poll is reserved, and that's for the Manny Bacon Post, for Manny Bacon himself, right up here on the top of the hill.
All right.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman?
Yeah, I have a few comments for the community. Like the town supervisor mentioned in his comments, this past month has been very busy, to say the least. There's a lot that went on. Everybody's been doing many things for the community, which is a great thing, and I'm referring to our town boards. Just to say, on May 28th, since we last had a town board meeting, we had, with the town supervisor, attended the supervisory meeting at the police department, which we do on a monthly basis. And as I said before, these meetings are so important for our town board and the town supervisor and the administration of the police department to keep an exchange and a channel of communication going back and forth. On June 4th, again, the town supervisor and I participated, I believe he also mentioned this before, in a meeting with the business community. This is, again, something that is so important for the town of East Fishkill. The town of East Fishkill is on track for economic recovery. We are partnering with the local business community to increase our tax revenues. Well, it is our goal to alleviate the tax burden to the private property owners. Also, on another note, on June 6th, early morning, the town engineer, myself, and few residents of the local Elsa Lake community met at the site by the beach area. There was an issue with one of the pipes, which the town's supervisor elaborated before, and we went over and evaluated the structure because it is extremely important to keep the, to dredge the lake, drain the lake at this time in preparation for the Elsa Lake water renovation project. We should follow, I think Scott said, probably around June 8th. I mean, some of the work is already started, but probably
That's the
the
tentative
major
start date,
project
yes.
is going to be shortly
We'd
coming.
like to get the lake down another foot,
Yeah.
maybe 2 feet, and hopefully we've got that pipe flowing enough that we're able
Hopefully,
to accomplish
if there
that.
is no rain, we'll be able to
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
Also, as the town supervisor mentioned previously, together with the town official, we had a great grand tour of the IBM Global Foundry facility. It was very educational. On all levels, it was fascinating to see what is produced in our backyard, products that are used on many levels worldwide. Councilman Peter Cassidy and I, and myself, and the Recreation Director, Jen McHugh, are working together on this year Community Day. We have decided that this year theme for the Community Day will be appreciation and recognition of the founders of the East Fishkill Volunteer Fire Department. The community on that day will learn how the department came about, the great work and sacrifice that these volunteers do in our community day after day. I think I want to encourage anybody from the fire department that has information that we could use to really put together this event for Community Day and the volunteer fire department to contact Peter Cassidy, myself, or the Recreation Director, Jan McHugh, so we can make this really a great thing. And one last thing I want to say is, I know that I said this before, but this is regarding the community. I want to say, please, anytime that anyone in our local town has any public issues they need our attention, contact the town board. Call us, we are here, and we are always available to take care of any issues that comes and that needs our attention. This is what we do best. Use us before you go to the local media. Many times, even in the past couple of weeks, we found situations that have happened in our community, and we were very experienced taking care of the problem. We don't need to do it that way. Contact us. I mean, the town supervisor's office is open Monday through Friday. After hours, all our phones are working. Please get in touch with us. We would like to work for you, but that's what we're here for. So please do that before you go to the local media. Thank you. And happy 4th of July, everybody.
Thank you, Councilman. Deputy Supervisor?
Just a short report from the Highway Department. The Highway Department has been doing some major pipe replacement jobs, specifically on Orbit Lane, Judith Drive, Sebastian Court, and they've also been working on pipe replacements on Queen Anne Lane, Marcella Boulevard, and Flanders Road. The tree crews have spent some time removing hazardous trees on Lake Walton, Phillips Road, and Hillside Lake as well. The jet vector has been out and the crew cleaning out the catch basins to ensure they're in proper working condition. And the paving crew has done some true and leveling work on Blue Hill Road to even out the road service. They've also begun doing some work on Cross Road. Although the weather has not been on our side this spring and summer, they've gotten some patch crews out on East Hook, Brescia, and Ridge Road, and Lomala and Worley Homes. We know that many of these areas that have potholes that need to be addressed. Ken and the town supervisor and the town engineer met with the Gorman Group to learn about their alternative paving methods, which Nick already mentioned. The beautification team has been cleaning out and sprucing up the town gardens. They've been assisting the engineering department with the Hillside Lake project, and roadside mowing continues in areas in the town to prevent and improve sight distance. The Recreation Department has been doing a great job maintaining the baseball fields, parks, and the facilities at Red Wing and Lime Kiln. And you can also see what's happening at the Highway Department. Oh my God, he's got to be a friend of AJ's. He's got a Facebook account.
No.
At Facebook page, East Fishkill Highway Department, Ken Williams.
That's it, Councilman?
That's it.
What about, you don't want to mention about your,
Wafers?
your nice fundraiser that
No,
you had?
that's not town.
Okay, well.
And I was very disappointed when you said we were going to IBM, we were gonna get wafers, there was no ice cream, nothing. But it was nice to see what Star Wars is real.
I'm just gonna add.
It was really back to the, it was way out there in the future, seeing that, all that robotics.
Were you happy that we went, Peter?
But it just goes to show you that they've eliminated human service, and now I understand when I make a phone call and I can't get a person on the phone.
One more thing, Supervisor. The East Fishkill PBA is hosting their 22nd annual golf tournament on August 5th, 2019. If you can, if you're interested, contact Kyle at 845-742-6309. Our police department is second to none, and this is just one of the ways that we could support them and give back to their PBA. So, thank you.
And with that, we'll have the chief give a report.
Special.
Yeah, I'll be brief. I just wanted to actually publicly thank the supervisor and the board for the two sergeants promotions that took place tonight. What you had before you were two gentlemen that are outstanding, dedicated police officers, hardworking, and really going to be part of the next group that leads this police department after this current group goes. So I just really want to thank you. And my second and just final comment is regarding the inordinate amount of traffic complaints that we do receive. It's no problem for us to sit up on your road and do a detail, and we get plenty of these on town roads. However, what we're finding is a lot of the people that we're pulling over, they live right in that neighborhood. So if I could just impress upon the public to slow down in your own neighborhoods and everywhere else, it'd be really appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And I'd like to mention our Highway Superintendent, Ken Williams, couldn't be with us tonight. His father's having surgery, so good luck to his father. And happy 4th of July. Please be safe. We have fireworks on Friday night, right? On the 5th. I believe it's on the 5th. It's on the website, on our town website. It is on Friday the 5th at the rec here, the main rec in the hamlet. And please be safe and enjoy the holiday. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Carol.